I wasn't sure if we'd ever get to this point in this save game, but it's here, our first venture into the Asian Champions League Elite phase. Yeah, the Elite League is the league above the league below, the Europa League equivalent. What's it called? The Champions League 2. Yeah, we're in the main one. And as you can see on screen here, our first game is going to be against Tractor of Iran. Can't say I've ever played against an Iranian team before in Football Manager, so this is a first. We're going to be playing them at home. And then annoyingly, in our second game in the Asian Champions League, we take on another Japanese team in Jubilo. I've already done their away day. They're the away game. I'm upset about it, but with this league phase, with 8 games to play, getting off to a good start is very, very important. You might also remember last episode, I was a bit confused by the fact I only had 5 fixtures showing. Turns out I'm a moron. Some of you pointed out in the comments. 3 of our games are going to take place next season. Gangwon, Buriram United, a trip to Thailand, anyone? And then our last game is against Ulsan of the K-League. So yes, some very interesting games in here. Today, as I said, we're going to do Tractor and Jubilo. And then next episode, I think we're going to do Roncheng and an away day to Johor Darul Tazim of Malaysia. If I'm not mistaken, their stadium's quite nice. Anyway, it's safe to say I'm pretty excited for this occasion. I didn't think we'd ever get here. Before we get into it though, running the intro and catching you up on a very jam-packed month of football, half my strikers are injured. Yeah, I'm not even exaggerating. Yes, folks, a warm welcome back for the final time this week to Tokyo Rising. It is Friday, and we need to kick off things by just talking about transfer stuff. Was there any late sales in the transfer window? No. Of course, we did pick up Kono and Otter in the transfer window, but after the transfer window closed, I went out and I made a signing. You might remember I said, I think during the last transfer special at the start of the season, I was going to sign this guy at some point. I've gone ahead and signed him now. The man is joining us from Gambaro Osaka, 19 years old, phenomenal talent. I'll be honest, his wages are going to ruin our wage budget a little bit, but he's signing without a release clause, and let's be honest, this guy at 19 is absolutely phenomenal. Very excited to see what he can do in our team. So that's some transfer stuff to look forward to. Of course, last episode we were playing in the J-League World Challenge. Since then, I've actually only played like a month, 2 months of football. Look how many games we've played in this. It's been absolutely absurd. Pleased to report that we are still in the Empress Cup, at least right now. We won on penalties over FC Ryukyu. Little bit nervy there. Sadly, our B team got knocked out to Grampus, as we observed last episode. We then beat Ehime in the 4th round, and we've now been drawn in the quarter-final against J3 opposition in Sagan Tosu. Once upon a time of J1, yeah, we should be beating them. And as you can see, alongside those 2 Emperor's Cup games that I've played since last episode, a lot of league games, and also a J-League Cup win. Yeah, we managed to win 4-2 twice against Yokohama F. Marinos to go through in this competition. So in both cup competitions, we are progressing nicely. I'll be honest, we are in so many competitions at this point, I'm kind of losing track. Just to make it a little bit easier, I'm going to hide all the other cup competition games just so we can go through the league matches since we were last here, which have largely been very, very convincing. 4-0 win against Yokohama F. Marinos at the Nissan Stadium was nice. 6-2 against Grampus was great. One of 2 defeats we've got since last episode came against Zelvia, who, to be fair, are towards the top of the table. We were 3-0 down at half-time, couldn't mount a comeback, sadly. From there, though, some really emphatic wins. 3-1 against Urawa Reds, 3-1 against Jubilo, who, of course, we are going to be playing in the Asian Champions League later today, so maybe a psychological advantage gain there. One of these results is not like the others. One of these results is this one here. Yeah, that is right. We managed to beat Vissel Kobe 7-0. I was actually offered the Vissel Kobe job off the back of this result. They have been absolutely pounded this year. Last year, well, they finished 4th. 2 years before that, they'd won the league. They're now down in 14th. Their media prediction was 1st. Safe to say, they're having a bit of a disastrous year. Sadly, we couldn't win multiple games 7-0, but we did get 2 further wins against Ehime and then Sanfrecce Hiroshima. Then we lost to Gambaro Osaka. This was actually the game where I decided, you know what, screw it, I'm signing Takeshi Ito off them. They denied me a win, and I thought, I'm signing their best player. So I've got my revenge in the end. You can see here, it's a hard-fought game. An 83rd minute winner for Gambaro Osaka secured them the result in a hard-fought game where Honda picked up man of the match with a hat-trick despite being on the losing side. Most recently, we beat Matsumoto Yamaga 6-0. What you might notice from the goal scorers here is there's not the usual suspects here. There's no Taba, there's no Nemo, there's no Sasaki. There's a reason for that, and that is because they've all been out injured. You can see Taba currently out injured. Rehabilitation has commenced. You might also notice a big intimidating leaving on a free transfer symbol here. Yeah, I've got to acknowledge this at some point. The hometown hero, homegrown at club, one of our best players, rejected a £4 million bid from him at the start of this year. He has announced his intentions to leave the club in 18 months' time. I'm going to hope that maybe I can get him to reconsider. Otherwise, I'm going to have to sell him at some point. I can't afford losing this guy on a free transfer. As much as he is perhaps one of our best strikers with 15 goals in 18 games, strikers has never really been something we're short of, and we have already, of course, got Nemo, who has got more league goals this year. Sadly, however, he's also injured at the moment, also failed a fitness test. You can see here, he pulled his groin in training at the start of the month. So, yeah, not ideal. Taba, by the way, also failed his fitness test. And then the next man down, I suppose, in the pecking order of strikers. Sasaki is also out injured. Ankle ligaments. Yeah, I'll be honest, this guy just has an issue with his ankle, doesn't he? In the last, year or two, 4 major injuries, or moderate injuries. They're technically not major in Football Manager terms, but for us, they are considered kind of major. He's been out now for multiple months over the course of the last few years with ankle issues. If it wasn't for the fact Taba had announced his intention to leave, I'd probably be looking to move him on. So yeah, we've been without our 3 main goal scorers. You saw though, we did beat Matsumoto Yamaga 6-0. That is mostly because of this man here. Tomoyuki Miyate. Signed him as a bit of a punt at the start of the year. You might remember, he was the one who I tried to sign on deadline day last summer and then the deal fell through. He's a big lanky beast. We've had a load of pacey forwards over the years here at the club. This is the first man who I can say is really the Peter Crouch of Japanese football. And look at his recent form. 2 goals against Yokohama F. Marinos. 2 goals in the rematch against Yokohama F. Marinos. And in that 6-0 win I already mentioned, 3 goals, 2 assists. He started the year playing for the B team. He is going to be our main man in the Champions League today due to all the injuries. So you might notice when I recap the league form, largely we've been in some good form. 2 defeats, but in a jam-packed month, not going to worry about that too much, especially because right now we do have a 12-point gap over Kashima Antlers, albeit they do have a game in hand, but given how we've been playing lately, feels like a tall order for anyone to catch us with 8 games left. And as already mentioned, we are going to be doing 2 Asian Champions League games today. You'll note that in the next 2 months of football, we play 3 league games. There is a big focus all of a sudden on cup matches. Of course, the Asian Champions League is going to be my main focus. We have been drawn here, you can see, in the J-League Cup League Cup final against Catalan. Now, they are a J2 team currently down in 19th, possibly going to get relegated, but they've gone on this miracle run. We really should be beating them when we play them in a month. And then, as already mentioned, in the Emperor's Cup following on from that, we're away against Sagan Tosu of J3. So whilst there's a load of cup competition games here, I'm hoping I can rotate in those 2 domestic competitions with full focus on the Champions League. Of course, dream scenario, a good start today. And of course, with the new Asian Champions League format, there is an East and West split, so we can't play any of the big, scary Saudi teams and Middle Eastern teams with a load of money till the final. I feel like that is some good news, especially when you look at the Dream 11 for the competition and realise it's made up entirely pretty much of players on the other side of the bracket. You can see here, Lee Kang-in is playing at the moment for Al Okdud. Kobe Mainu is playing for Al Hilal. He is arguably the best player in the competition, according to this screen here. Jose Blanco as well, another very good player. I think this guy's a regen. He's very scary, isn't he? And very quick. But you know what? Rather than worry about making it through to the final, let's take this one step at a time. It's going to be the league phase where we go down to a round of 16 with 8 of the 12 teams making it through. Then we have the round of 16, which is just straight knockout rounds. And then we have the final, which, is it over 2 legs? It's no longer over 2 legs. I feel like the Asian Champions League final was a 2-legged affair. It's not anymore with the rework. Look at the prize money on offer. If you can do well in the Asian Champions League, you're rolling in money, which is why this first game today against Tractor is all the more important. Also, we get loads of subs for this competition. I mean, that's really good. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fill the subs bench, though. I mean, I can stick Taba and Nemo on the bench. Neither of them are fit enough to play. In terms of the starting 11, it looks pretty normal, I feel like, when you look at the defence. I guess at right back we are missing Tachi Banner, who's also injured, and Mitsuhashi's also injured at right back, which means Sakaki is going to be the man to play there. The issue is the striking pairing. Our striking pairing is Takagi, who he signed back in the JFL, and, well, he has had an okay goal-scoring record this year, and then the man who I've already mentioned, Miyake. We signed him for 185k, played with the B team a bit earlier on this year. So far for us, he's been phenomenal. Need him to pick up his league form in this first game here. Feel like there's a lot of moving parts going on at the moment. Sometimes with episodes, I can just jump straight into a match. We've had a month of football with so many league games. There's all little bits going off the pitch, like the Ito signing from Gambara Saka. Of course, just explaining the fact that we're in this competition. I appreciate many people won't have played in the Asian Champions League before. Looking at their team here, they've got a striker who wears the number 99 shirt. Should I be intimidated? Based on his actual ability, the answer's probably not. Okay, first highlight of the Asian Champions League in Tokyo 23 history. Can we get off to the dream start? Honda with the ball, dribble into the byline, options in the middle, Delacorte back, drills it across, Miyake, Yamazaki, Honda has scored. Is he onside? If he's got onside there, that's miraculous. He started the play out in the wide area for us, and all of a sudden, he was just in the 6-yard box like a fox in the box, and I'll tell you what, the goal is going to count. Watch the run here by the inside forward, ghosting inside, isn't tracked by his man, and suddenly, he appears to tuck the ball away from 7 yards out. I do want to do a fair few of the Champions League matches this year. I appreciate that when it comes to the league phase, given the fact we're whittling down 12 teams to 8 teams, there might be a couple of games towards the end of things that don't really matter quite so much. It's also not like the new European Champions League format where, you know, if you finish higher up, you skip around. You just have to be in the top 8. That said, you know, every game we play here is going to matter. And oh my word, Nakano, what a save. Get the ball away from danger. You know what? I need to do some praising. Shout to the players, praise them. Green, happy, smiley faces. We started this game so well and suddenly we're kind of on the back foot. Okay, they're playing with a single striker in this game here. So with that in mind, I'm going to encourage us to play out of the defence and distribute it to the fullbacks and the centre-backs. We should always have a free man. With a back four, even if their wingers press, there's always going to be someone free to distribute the ball to. And I think in a game like this, just holding on to possession could be the name of the game. Kodono lays it back to Manga here for us. Juve to his left, Yamazaki in front is the man he aims for. Delacorte back in at left back, has slotted in at centre back a few times this year, but this is where he thrives. He whips the ball in, and Miyake's there, the Japanese Peter Crouch, as I've christened him, leaps, and he's over 190 centimetres tall. He is a big old boyo with some great jumping reach, and we've seen it on full display there. The ball is whipped to the back post. No other striker in Tokyo 23 history can score that header there. It's 2-0. And that is going to help me relax a little. Or at least it would, if it wasn't for the fact we're going straight into a kickoff highlight. Just as we get our noses in front, are we going to be put, well, back in check? A 2-goal margin makes me feel good. A 3-goal margin, suddenly the halftime team talk becomes a whole lot easier. Look at this build-up play. Kamiyama plays it. Miyake. We won't talk about that. I mean, we've had 2 shots on target in this game. They've both ended up in the back of the net. They've had chances of their own tractor, but not taken them. Not exactly a classic, but you know what? I don't care about entertaining football. We need wins. Already 10 minutes into this second half. How many subs can I make here? We can make 5 subs from 3 stoppages. Takagi's not been good here. You know what? Kibe, on you come. Kibe, I think, could be a very important player for us longer term if Taba does end up leaving. Kibe apparently has a load of potential. He has improved a lot. His actual goal-scoring record is absolutely woeful. Today would be a good time to turn it around. We've scored while I'm making changes. I mean, if we've now scored a third, this is great. There is a VAR check for something. I can't tell you what it is because I've not seen the goal. It's not going to count. Never mind. Was someone offside? Takagi was apparently offside. Okay. Takagi was the man on the goalkeeper. Yeah, I can't really argue against that, can I? Right, I've paused the game because I am going to make a couple more changes here. Kamiyama, a little bit tired. Let's bring in Hashizume out on the right-hand side. Kodono was struggling for fitness going into this game. Going to give him a rest. Sora Nakamura, on you come to play defensive midfielder, son. And I think we'll save one last sub for now. I mean, I don't know if goal difference is going to be a factor in this competition, but it could possibly end up being something that we need to have in our favour if we were to struggle in our upcoming games. So let's make sure we score as many as we can. Miyake squares it. Kibe, back to Kibe. I don't know how it's not ended up in the back of the net. They've somehow got it away. Sakaki throws it inside. That is one of the worst throw-ins I've ever seen. But if there's a silver line to be had, maybe we can press and win the ball high up the pitch, or maybe we're just going to invite them forward here. Fahadi for them, inside to Taghavi. Wide now to a man whose name I'm never going to be able to say correctly, so let's not try. Fahadi, dispossessed. Look Manga with a lovely little tackle. A little bit of anger in that tackle, I think, after his disallowed headed goal. Juf now with the play. Is going to look inside to Nakamura. He gives it to Kibe. There's options left. There's options right. Yamazaki's that man. He's cutting through the middle like a hot knife through butter. And sadly, he's come up against a goalkeeper up to the task. This third goal feels inevitable. Can we get it? No, you know what? Not with a cross like that into the box. I mean, the match momentum tells a story. In this second half, we have been by far and away the better team. They've yet to have a shot in this second half. But with a chance with 10 minutes left, a goal could change things very quickly. Nakano plucks the ball out the air with confidence. Now we need him to try and get the ball out from the back. Juf lays it down the line to Sakaki. Makeshift right back. He's not had a lot to do in this game here, but he's bringing the ball forward here, trying to make amends for that awful throw-in. He gives it to Hashizume, who's denied, and to be frank, this game probably should be more than 3-0 at this point. We've had chances. We've not yet taken them. We're going to whip the ball in towards Lukmanga, who can't keep the header down again. This is a merciless performance from us, isn't it? We want to make a statement. We want to make other teams in the Asian Champions League shudder. Those that don't watch Japanese football won't know what we're capable of. And, well, they still don't know what we're capable of because Hashizume skied it. Yamazaki is now going to get the ball in. Where is Lukmanga? Goes over him. Kibe, can he score? He could. He deflects it, but it's in. It counts. I mentioned the fact he doesn't score many goals. He's got one there. It was very fortunate. Look, all I'm going to say is if I'm Kibe here, I'm a little bit embarrassed to celebrate this goal. He shot. It's come off 2 defenders and ended up in the back of the net. But you know what? They all count. 18 shots in that game. Only an XG of 2.66. I've been shown so many highlights. I feel like we definitely should have scored more. In the end, Miyake has got man of the match. This man, he's coming into his own. We've had an injury crisis up front. He is coming to the rescue. Really nice to open up our campaign with a win. But you know what would be nicer than 1 win? The answer is 2 wins. We're going to be trying to do that next time out against Jubilo. They have just beaten Gangwon away from home in South Korea 2-1. It's the 2 Japanese teams towards the top. I'm going to hope that we can take them down a peg by beating them in the next one. That game, by the way, is in 4 days' time. So I'm going to go rest up the players. Don't go anywhere. Another trip to the Yamaha Stadium awaits us. I feel like this fitness test inbox item is a pretty good indicator of where our squad's at right now. We've got a few injuries, 2 right backs injured and 3 strikers injured. But of course, last game, we didn't really notice those absences. We look very, very good. And to be honest, when it comes to this upcoming game, I'm thinking, why change a winning machine? Let's just go with the exact same lineup. Miyake looked really good in that last one. Of course, this game isn't quite as exotic or as exciting against Jubilo, but they finished second in J-League last year. They finished 3 points behind us, and whilst we're significantly further ahead of them in the league this time around, at least with 8 games remaining, I don't suspect they're going to be an easy game whatsoever. Okay, there is a kickoff highlight right away. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Let's see how we fare here. Looks like they're lining up in a 4-4-2. I wasn't paying attention when the lineups were shown, but if it is a 4-4-2, I feel like there's gaps between the lines that we can find, and we're finding them early. Miyake, he was offside, it wouldn't have counted, but a chance early on. And just confirmation here, they are indeed playing a 4-4-2. I've noticed they've got Vitti, the Italian centre-back. He's very good, isn't he? He's very good. I did notice there, and he's also on £28,000 a week. That is money we do not have right now. Kamiyama, wide area, floating in. Honda, Miyake wins the header. But sadly, it's gone wide. I mean, considering we're away from home here and Jubilo won their opening game as well, I don't necessarily feel like this is a must-win game in the context of the Champions League phase. But of course, the sooner we can get points on the board, the better, especially because I know those tail-end games of the league phase are going to happen during kind of pre-season of next year. Player fitness might not be quite to the same level, and so getting results early would be ideal. I think we just hit the post there. 30 minutes played. We've got another chance here. Kamiyama's whipping it in. Manga can't quite get his head on it. Yamazaki's going to keep the play alive. Dalacorte, the left back, drifting wide. Players in the middle. Goes down in a heap. I was waiting for a penalty to be given, but the whistle, it never came. And now Jubilo with possession need to try and build out from the back. They're forced to go long here. Manga is going to win an uncontested header, but he nods it straight into danger. We win it back, though, in the midfield via Yamazaki. And now it's Juf at right centre-back. laying it to Kamiyama out on the right wing. Looks like they are pressing pretty high here, which is leaving them with lots of space in behind for us to exploit. Kamiyama, players but in behind to exploit, and I'll tell you what, Miyake is one of them. He finds the back of the net finally. It's been coming. It's another goal for the youngster. Are we going to end up in a situation where Taba and Nemo come back and so does Sasaki, and yet there's this random 19-year-old bloke who just stays in the team because he's good in the air? I mean, to be fair, on that occasion there, great with his feet. That ball came fizzing into him quick, and he tucked it away superbly. Gonna shout some praise at the players after that goal there. I think we have had the better of the play in this one. They've had a couple of shots to their defence, but they're yet to find a breakthrough. And, well, we have the ball in a dangerous area here. Yamazaki whips in. Honda heads it against the crossbar. That was a chance. 2 minutes to the end of this first half. Going to come and go, but 2 goals to the good. Going to tell the players I'm very happy. Also, I've said 2 goals to the good. We're only 1 goal to the good. Probably shouldn't have praised them. I'm just going to praise them some more. If they score immediately, that's going to feel like an error on my behalf, isn't it? It feels like a game where we're 2-0 up. It's got that kind of energy because we've created so much, but we've lacked maybe a little bit of killer instinct. Hopefully, it's not going to come back to bite us as Nakano turns that free kick round the wall. Honda is looking a little tired out on the left-hand side. Kibe played pretty nicely last time out, so I'm going to bring him into the team. Takagi is struggling as well. You know what? Hashizume, on you come, my friend, to play at striker. At the back, a couple of bookings is a little bit concerning. I'm going to bring in Murata, I think, at right back in this game here. We need fresh legs. Juve, I'm just going to keep a little bit of faith in. I'm going to hope and believe that he is going to be well behaved as we have a long throw to potentially deal with here. The ball's floated in. It's headed away now. Could we break? Kibe bringing it forward. Fresh off the bench. Should be fresh as a daisy. He lays it back to Dalakorte. Kadono, Hashizume, Yamazaki, Miyake. Lovely build-up play. Kamiyama. Oh, the passing was so good. It was so free-flowing. It was so sexy. But the finish just wasn't there at the end of it. And whilst we do still have a corner that we're not going to convert, that was a really good opportunity. I mean, it's still dangerous. Yamazaki's shot flies over. The game lags for a moment as they make a triple change, I noticed. And now Nuno Santos for them with a free kick that's only just gone over. I mean, it's still 1-0. I can't get complacent. We've got an XG above 2, and I don't really know how we've not scored more. Have also just noticed here, they are going more attacking all of a sudden, Jubilo. They're going to their 4-2-4, almost matching us in shape. I think we might see some late goals in this game. 13 minutes left. I wouldn't bet against there being more here. Nakano launches it. Kibe to Miyake. Plays it behind Hashizume. 1-on-1. Oh my. We've been awful finishing-wise in this game. And the last game, really. We've created a lot. You have to question, if Taba and Nemo were on the pitch, how many more would we have scored today? I feel like the number is lots, and yet we could still be on for 2 wins, so let's not panic too much just yet. Kibe, massive win. Miyake, drifting wide. Options inside, dispossessed. Bueno goes forward, and now it's a 2-on-2 at the back. Machino, options in the middle, is won crucially by Manga, but then Dalakorte gives away the ball. Oba, inside. Muenta scores. That's got to be offside, right? The tie forward is surely not, see what the tie, not, he's from Thailand, not going to count. It's an awful pun. The goal doesn't count. It probably should just for that pun alone. 10 minutes left. I said there was at least another goal left in this game. I stand by that statement. They're going for a long throw here that finds the way of Oba. He's at the edge of the box. He could pull the trigger. He does pull the trigger. It hits the crossbar. It loops up. And we just about get it away here. You know what? I've seen enough. I need to shut down this game. Yamazaki is tired. I'm going to drop him deep and bring in Sora Nakamura. And well, you know what? I might not like this. It might not be pretty. I'm parking the bus with 2 defensive midfielders. Let's just make sure we have a nice core in the middle to see out what remains of this game. Going to go as well down to positive. We don't need to overcommit. We're still playing well in this game, but 6 minutes of added time. Please just go. No more highlights, please, Football Manager. The gods are listening to me, I think. Thank you, Football Manager gods. We get the win. And I'm going to breathe a big sigh of relief because that was not a convincing win whatsoever. But you know what? It's 2 wins in a row. It's 2 clean sheets in a row in the league phase, which could prove very, very important. One of the teams we've got in an upcoming game in Buriram United have currently won their first 2 games. I think we're also due to play Ulsan as well. Yeah, still got tricky games coming up. Apparently, Yamazaki is tired and can do with a rest. To be fair, given our recent schedule, I think there's a fair few players in a very similar boat. Sadly, The next month or two is still absolutely jam-packed. Speaking of which, next time out, we're back for more Asian Champions League action. I'm sorry to the one John Book fan who watches my videos. Your team play us in the middle of nowhere, so I'm going to come back at the end of next month, maybe have some more progress going in cup competitions as well. And yeah, Ron Cheng of China, Johor Darul Tazim of Malaysia coming up. That should be fun. We will have an away day in Malaysia next episode to look forward to. I hope to see you on Monday for that. Leave a like if you enjoyed this one, and I'll be back next time for more. I'm out.